stuff.
All right, as we're talking about our childhood here, grown-ups are apparently getting in touch with their more whimsical and childlike side, making up a whole new demographic for retailers out there. They're called Kidults. So these toy makers, they're leaning into the idea that playtime is not just for the kids anymore. Business is apparently booming. Kidults are buying more toys than preschoolers to the tune of $7 billion, my friends. So we're talking everything from Legos to toy cars to puzzles, even dolls. And the latest toy from our childhood, look at this, is Play-Doh. The first ever set for adults is called Blooms, and you can create these realistic bouquets that display them with your Play-Doh. The kits include special tools and things like that, finishing spray to help preserve your creation. But I'm curious about the psychology behind why people are needing this right now. And is it good for you? So joining us this morning is Shantala Boss. She's a licensed mental health counselor here to help us out. Good morning, Shantala.
Good morning.
Hi.
Good to see you. So what are your thoughts on this? It really is a fascinating trend.
It is. I don't think it's new necessarily. I think that adults have to play just like kids, but sometimes our play looks different. It's a way to disengage, take the stress off, you know, it increases that dopamine. I love the Play-Doh thing. I have so much Play-Doh at work because I'm actually a play therapist. So I work with children and they actually express themselves through play a lot more often than they do words. So sometimes we even bring adults in. We have a sand tray and we have figurines. Some of it's symbolic. It's very nostalgic. It connects you with your past and gives you kind of a sense of like control in some ways when the world feels a little bit out of control.
I always used to make fun of people back in the day when I was younger, like, why are you guys hanging on to the 50s and 60s? That's so old, you know, move on. Now I find myself reconnecting with the stuff that, you know, the 80s and 90s. Why is it our minds want to go back to a time? Is it just connected to a simpler time for us?
I think it's a simpler time, a happier time, when we had the ideals of our future and all the things that we remember. You guys are talking about your high school, the laughter. It's who you are. It develops your personality. So for someone to know you, to show that through toy collection, that community too. There's a whole community behind that, and toys and games and all of that stuff.
Shantala, is there also something about using your hands physically that's helpful? We are so connected to these things. I mean, and at least at my house, and I'm going to totally admit this, I'm trying so hard to stop looking at this phone and scrolling and spending my time after work, especially doing that. So is using your hands helpful to people?
Well, I believe it is. It's a distraction from the phone because it's so easy to want to grab that and check something or check work or see if you've been messaged. So being able to have something tangible that we can use or manipulate, also just getting away from video games. Sometimes we just don't need to be on a screen. I mean, I think our eyes are worse than ever. We need to actually be seeing stuff and moving it and manipulating it.
That's a good point. Eye doctors are loving this trend right now.
No,
Probably like, come on in, we'll
going
fix
tomorrow,
it.
actually.
Right? Oh, see, there you go.
Yeah.
But I do love that this is a trend. I think it's a healthy trend, right? So many of the trends that we see are not healthy. To me, this feels a little bit like touch the grass. However, this is like sort of get back in touch with your childhood.
I think it's a healthy trend. You know, I think that the generation coming up is staying home longer. They aren't necessarily going out into the world quite as soon. Maybe they've been sheltered a little bit longer. So sometimes I think being childlike, there's two different things about it. It can be nostalgic. It can be help you develop your personality and become who you are and give you that confidence, or it can hold you back. And then you're lacking confidence and wanting to get out into the world. So there's two different things here. If you're just collecting toys because it makes you happier as an adult and grows you as a person, versus if you're trying to stay stuck and you're not moving forward.
There's a difference.
Very good point. Interesting.
The last thing I want to ask you about, because to me it's a little bit of an elephant in a room for us here in Central Florida. We have Disney adults here. I mean, that's the primo Kidult is a Disney adult.
This is true. I was going to mention.
When can that turn unhealthy? Because I wonder sometimes people put their whole lives into being a Disney adult. We even saw it recently. People were stealing the pins for thousands of dollars. So can it turn to the dark side?
Well, anything can in excess. So any hobby, any outlet, anything that we love, if it turns into something that is bigger than our family, our friends, and we put it first or make it a priority or maybe spend more money than we have, then, or as an escape from our own problems. You don't want to escape your problems. You can distract yourself and have fun and stress relief, but it just kind of depends on the balance, like anything else in life. But it can be great to be a Disney adult.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, especially if you live here.
I go too, by the way.
Yes. Right, but there's a line, right,
There
between
is a
being a
line.
fan and being obsessive, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, fascinating.
All right, Shantala Boss, thanks for joining us today.
Love
Always
having
good
you.
to see
Having
Appreciate
me.
it.
Thank you.
All right, we got to take a break. You're watching Good Day Orlando Extra right here on Fox 35. We'll be right back.